in past elections, one of the issues has been even those who are registered have not voted in the same proportions as others.
Trump for that.
You can, in many ways, you can.
But speaking of the early vote, in Florida yesterday, walking a neighborhood with SEIU, they were targeting irregular voters, folks who don't vote every election. John, every house where somebody came to the door, they said, already voted, leave me alone. I mean, people are aware of this election. They're engaged by this election. Donald Trump has been the best motivator Democrats ever had.
Well, and that's going to be so interesting to watch on Tuesday night, too. Even states like Arizona, I mean, this election in many ways is about the future in terms of the Democrats, grabbing a larger and larger share of the Latino vote out there. And I think it'll be so interesting to look at some of those races, even McCain or Rubio, to see whether there is sort of a distinction between the Trump brand and the Republican brand and whether they can recover.
That's an important point, and we're focusing on the here and now because we have a great competitive presidential race, but we're also going to learn some very important lessons about the future, assuming even if Democrats don't get Arizona or if they fall just short in Georgia or if they keep the margins a little closer in Texas. The changing demographics of America are changing our politics, and some of that verdict will be cast Tuesday night. Some of it's going to carry with us as we go through the elections. Let's move on to the current president of the United States, who will be leaving office soon. They've already packed up a lot of his stuff and sent it off to where the library will be in Chicago. Some of it's in storage when he moves here in D.C. But look at how active this president has been. This is unprecedented. For a two-term president in his final days to be out on the train. 13 stops to date. 4 more coming. Florida, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania. 21 interviews by the President of the United States so far. We've got a couple days left. I'm guessing he's going to be on the radio all day Tuesday. African-American media outlets. The President, he understands. They see this drop-off in African-American turnout. They understand that voters that were so loyal to President Obama are not as loyal to Hillary Clinton. Here he is on the Tom Joyner show, President Obama saying, even if you're not thrilled about her, make this about me.
I just want everybody to understand we got one more race here. Even though my name's not on the ballot, our legacy is all at stake, and we can't take it for granted.
And let's watch it before we talk. I just want to watch him out on the trail because it's interesting. You're trying to bring energy to motivate people. This is about motivation now. So you want to have energy, you want to have fun. The president's having fun.
The choice could not be clearer. Because Donald Trump, don't boo, don't boo, don't boo. Come on, you guys know that. You already knew that. You can't boo. He can't hear you boo, but he can hear you vote.
Whether you support him or not, I mean, just as a student of the game, he knows how to play.
He's good.
He knows how to play.
We've never had a sitting president do this because he finally is able to. He's never been able to pull Democrats over the line in his midterms. This is different because it is his legacy, and everyone is paying attention to this election there. But he said, don't boo, vote so many times in 2008. You and I both remember that.
That's right.
See if it works.
And Michelle Obama saying, when they go low, we go high. The version of going high is voting. I mean, you do see a difference. Talking to folks, African-Americans who voted in 2008, voted in 2012, it was an expression of pride. It was an expression of real sort of optimism about what the country, where the country was going, and sort of paying your respects to people who had fought and died for that progress. And now you get to some of these polling stations, not as many people, and more of a sense of duty, not necessarily the same kind of enthusiasm.
Democrats do think they made up. There's long lines in North Carolina the last day of early voting yesterday. Democrats do think they made up some of it. We'll do the final counting as we get into the final days.
But I mean, it's just amazing how the president and Michelle Obama have been such a powerful team for Clinton in that sense during the last week because, I mean, she is his former rival. There are people still remember some of that bad blood. And he's just been out there so energetic, really galvanizing voters at those rallies, particularly the younger voters that she's had trouble really exciting throughout this campaign.
And the deeper, badder blood, though, is with, remember, Donald Trump, cheerleader for the birther movement. So the president's got a personal stake in this, and it's interesting because he's clearly under Donald Trump's skin. The other day, Donald Trump was in Jacksonville. The president came in right behind him. Duval County, one of the little battlegrounds within the battleground in a state like Florida. Donald Trump went on to North Carolina. The president's been in North Carolina, I think, 3 times in the last week. So listen to Donald Trump here. Yes, his opponent on the ballot is Hillary Clinton, but Donald Trump's a little annoyed with President Obama.
They don't respect Obama. He's like a cheerleader. He's jumping up and down all over the place for Hillary. He shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be with her. He's got to be working.
That's one of the nicer things he said about the president in the last week. But clearly, it's under his skin a little bit.
It is.
No, he's obviously bothered. And Obama knows this. I mean, Obama knows that Trump can't help but hit back. So Obama wants him to hit back because Obama wants Trump to be distracted in a back and forth with him. 2 fast points on Obama. I saw him last week in Chapel Hill. The degree of shaming that he does with the black community that Hillary, of course, cannot do is extraordinary. He's saying if you don't vote, you are basically enabling those who would deny you the vote. You are enabling the suppressors, and they don't have to lift a finger. That is extraordinary. Lots of Democrats complain about voter suppression. Obama saying this is on you, not on them. You better vote. It's striking. And second of all, continuity. She's running for a 3rd term. When have we seen this? Even in 1988, John, George H.W. Bush said a kinder, gentler America. That was obviously a shot at Reagan. We have not seen somebody so embrace the outgoing president like this in a long time.
One more thing I want to sneak in here. The final week sudden appearance by Melania Trump is she was in suburban Philadelphia and then yesterday in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Our culture has gotten too mean and too rough. We have to find a better way to talk to each other, to disagree with each other. Donald is a wonderful husband, father, and grandfather. He's also compassionate, thoughtful, giving, and loving. Donald cares.
Yeah, I mean, touching moment right there, but bad staffing with the whole anti-bullying crusade.
I mean, the
given who her
irony
husband,
of
the
it.
irony, yeah.
Of maybe, well, her mission starts at home. Look at it
Right,
that way. Look at it that way.
exactly.
Her very important mission starts at home.